Hello? Why do I sense cartels, mate? Crossing the Yep, crossing the border. Hello, hello, hello. Get me involved. Don't get me involved. That's very legal, maybe. I don't know. Who knows? Sounds like there's danger. That's all I'll say. Sorry, when I start f***ing about, it's a cool one-shot. Are we going to start seeing like Gus's operation go through some growing pains? That would be fun. That's what this reminds me of a little bit. Mate, you can relax a little bit. But to be fair, cops with, they've probably got guns. Never mind, probably not. Okay. Are you asking or telling? Because he doesn't look okay. Oh. Partaking of the produce, I approve. Okay. Hello and welcome to another Better Call Saul Sunday, the show that happens every... That's a That's a tarantula. Stop it. You've got to stop this, okay? This isn't okay. This is a pattern now, okay? It's a little bit traumatic for me. Hello and welcome to another Better Call Saul Sunday, the show that happens every single Sunday until we are finished with it. Today, episode 8, Fifi. We shall see what it holds. Hopefully not tarantulas, that's true. Oh, it's still there. Come on. Flamingo check. No. Flamingo's in the house, big up. Flamingo's in the house, big up. Let's fly. They're just getting weirder, to be fair.
That's right.
This is the diner that Jesse was at. I remember because of the dog, and I really like the sign because of the tail.
Yes.
Legit, right? I'm right?
Type up your resignation letter. Now, you put that letter into Howard's office tonight.
The fact that she's not done it yet.
You've officially given notice. Tomorrow morning, while he's still out on the back night, you call Mesa Verde. You get to him before he does.
No. What? No.
She doesn't want to start, this is the thing. She doesn't want to start her tenure, let's say, as a solo practitioner. She doesn't want to do it dirty, I feel like. That's not Kim.
Listen, you do this the right way. You wait.
Right.
Tell Howard to his face.
Exactly.
He'll sink his dirty hooks into Mesa Verde.
True, but
But the whole point of this is for you to be your kind of lawyer and me to be mine.
exactly.
I need to find a way to do this that's right for me.
Yeah, and that's fair. I bet Howard's gonna make her regret that decision, right?
Hey, Kim, can we make this quick? Great. What's up?
Seriously?
Howard, could we do this in your office, please?
He's clocked it. Yeah, he's looking at the letter. Dude, you should have treated her better, man.
I have a pretty good idea why you're here.
Man, no remorse, no sadness at all. Come on, man.
So, you're going with Schweigert and Coakley?
I'm sorry?
I heard. Through the grapevine.
Did he? Wow. And he didn't do anything to try and keep her. He didn't call her in and was like, look, I've heard things. You're really valued here. We really value what you bring to us. You just got us Mesa Verde. You've done a great job. Do you know what I mean? Like, there was nothing of that. None of that at all. If anything, this just solidifies the idea that she's doing the right thing. Also, by the way, makes me think that Howard's judgment is skewed, is unreliable, based on, I'm guessing, this insecurity that he's got, that he doesn't feel like he's earned his place, or if people have tarnished HHM's name or image or whatever in... right, when I'm talking about Kim, then they have a black mark in his mind to all else. And to me, that shows, like I say, a lack of judgment, like a weak spot, a weakness to Howard's judgment, who has only ever been perceived by me as the audience as professional and competent. This is a weakness. This is a lack of judgment on his part. And makes me want more of Howard. Again, we're into, well into season 2, nearly finished season 2 now. I've seen bits and bobs of him, but, more so what I know of Howard is what I've worked out. The little subtle things, which I enjoy and I think are great. I want more now.
I figured I'd try giving it a go as a solo practitioner. We're going to be sharing expenses. One office, but 2 separate practices.
Why do I feel like Howard's going to make your life hell?
Smart. On several counts.
No, don't shit on Jimmy.
The financial help with my schooling, and I'm ready to write a check for the remainder of the loan.
No need. Our gift to you.
Well, okay, why are you being nice when she's leaving?
I don't know what to say.
It's almost like a kick out the door. Do you know what I mean?
Thank you.
You earned it.
Sorry, I say nice. It's not like it feels more like I say, a kick out the door than him doing something nice for her. It's like, go then. We cut all of the apron strings. Leave us.
Tell you the truth, I'm kind of envious.
Really? Why?
Something about a fresh start. Back in the day, right out of law school.
Okay.
I thought long and hard about hanging up my own shingle. Oh, I was ready to take on the world.
Okay. But.
Dad talked me out of it.
Uh-huh.
Wanted me to join the ranks here. Throw another
Right.
H in the firm's logo.
I see.
Things work out the way they're supposed to, I guess.
Oh, a lot of bitterness there. Yeah, a lot of again, little pepperings of Howard, you know, but nothing big. I hope we get an episode with him at some point. But yeah, very clearly forced into it by his dad. I mean, not forced into it, but I pressured. I mean, I say that and, you know, give his dad a little leeway and, you know, trying to give Howard his own autonomy. But like, I know how it is, you know, son and their dad. It's maybe arrayed as a choice or whatever it might be, or Howard presented it as a choice, his choice. And it seems much more malleable right there in that conversation. I can't imagine it was malleable at the time. I imagine there was more so this element of strong arming a little bit, or even just, you know, a son doting after his father, wanting to, you know, live up to his father and all that stuff. It's very powerful, it's very strong, and I believe him. I believe him when he says that he's envious. And as much as I have sympathy for that and his position and that influencing him in regards to Kim, I do still think at this point he is an adult man and he should know better, right? He should be treating Kim better, and this small kindness at the end here doesn't feel like a kindness because of his behavior. And I do feel like I say, he is autonomous now, right? And while I feel like, you know, he's probably still in his dad's shadow to a certain extent here, you can break out of that. You can decide to be your own man, make your own decisions, right? And I'm speaking from experience. It's hard, and I'm not trying to minimize that struggle or the strength that it takes to do that, but it's possible to do. And I think the way that he's treated Kim, yeah, I want to see more from him. I really, really do. And I don't feel, as much as there's sympathy that I feel for him in this moment, for what I've seen there, clearly this relationship with his dad that's affected him a lot, still affecting him as well, and has clearly affected him in regard to Kim, doesn't excuse it.
I want you to know that I always pushed you harder because I knew that I could expect more from you.
No, I hate that excuse. Yeah, I was really to you because I really expected more from you. No, just don't do that. Maybe just give them work that you want someone to do well on. What a novel idea. Wow, yeah, immediately. I mean, look, I don't blame him for that. He's again, professional man. He's going to do what he's going to do. And she knew, yeah. That look on her face, that kind of like, I knew that was coming. I knew that was going to happen. I knew he was going to do that. I've made my peace. Brilliant strength from Kim. And it's interesting how we have that kind of inner strength arrayed with Howard next to Kim's there. Everything that I've just said about Howard, and I think, honestly, this lack of strength in him. And I know that might be awful to say, right? And I do, again, I have a lot of sympathy for his position from what I've seen and this relationship with his dad, just the little snippet we saw there. It speaks volumes, and I get that, right? But he's clearly not stepped out of that shadow, right? I don't think he has. And I think that does show a little bit of weakness from him. I think you do need strength of character to step out of that and be your own person. And I think Kim is doing that right here. And I think contrasted together, it just really serves to exemplify that in Kim. Because we knew as the audience that she knew this. And look at this look as she walks out. Yeah, kind of like resignation, then like happy, like satisfaction, and then... Okay, no, maybe she's going to try and get him anyway.
Excuse me. Hi, Paige.
All right, no, she's trying.
Just checking that we're still on for lunch on Monday.
I think it's gone, Kim.
And Kevin, too? Good.
Hey, if she can get a meeting with him. Oh, hello, Mikey boy. I'm interested. Yeah, let's not forget that intro, by the way. Okay, no, we're back on the intro. Fair enough. Sorry. But again, by the way, just going back slightly to that moment and, you know, Kim running and trying to get Mesa Verde on the line, I don't think that undermines what I was saying about their strength of character. Kim went in there knowing he was going to call Mesa Verde and that she was likely going to lose Mesa Verde. I think actually try and retain that relationship and get Mesa Verde for herself doesn't undermine the arraying that we saw of Howard versus Kim of the strength of character. She went in there knowing she was weakening herself and her position by going and doing things the right way. I think it speaks volumes as to the strength of character in both Howard and Kim, at least at this point in the show. And I really do. I want to see some progress from Howard, which is why, like I say, I want an episode or not even an episode for Howard. I don't think that's how this show does things, but like an episode that's more Howard centric. I think we'll get it later down the line. I think he's a big character in the show. So yeah, hopefully. Yeah, I did speculate in a pinned comment. I don't think Mike's going to be the one to put Hector in the wheelchair. Or if he does, it's not going to be obvious that it was Mike, that Mike had a hand. Because otherwise he would never have been the henchman of Gus, right? He would never have been allowed to, because Gus was essentially under the cartels and Hector. But I do think in this show we're going to see Hector make that change. So I am curious how that comes about.
I am not the safe choice.
Hello.
That suit you're wearing, did you buy it off the rack?
Please don't tell me it looks like I did.
So why do you prefer a tailor-made suit?
Nice, I like the angle. I hope she gets this. She deserves to get this off Howard.
What if I want a whole warehouse full of suits? That's a hell of a lot of sewing. How's one single tailor gonna get that job done?
Yeah, no, he's got to ask these questions. Fair play to him.
But if this were beyond my abilities, I wouldn't be throwing my hat in the ring.
Yeah, I love her confidence here.
I would not waste your time.
This is great. I love seeing this from Kim. That strength of character that I just mentioned. Progressing forth into this figure of confidence. And it's lovely to see last episode in her, in herself, realizing that actually her place, even in Schweikert and Coakley and that future, isn't what she wanted. And actually just going back to the beginning, square one, and being like, what did I want originally? And being like, none of this. What I wanted was this. Solo law practitioner. And we're seeing that. We're seeing that in this confidence. This confidence bespeaks this idea that she's come into herself, that she's made this decision. She's very okay with it. She's very much on board with it. She's embraced it with both hands and she's going forward. And I love that. I love to see that.
I would not waste your time. Or mine.
Boom. All mine. Being like, yeah, no, I'm going to be in demand.
Kim, nice to meet you. Hi, Kim.
Ooh.
Everything okay?
Yeah.
Ha,
You alright, mate?
2 offices for 2 dentists, each the exact same size.
Interesting. Yeah, it did make me think, actually, as she came into this office, I wonder what the dynamic's going to be. Especially, I don't know if she's going to get Mesa Verde. I do think at the moment, and this is complete speculation, I think Kim is at a better position in her career right now to do more successfully than Jimmy is. I do believe that right now. And I wonder if one starts to take over the other, how are the other ones going to react to that? I think Kim would take that on the chin, and I think she would just try and go out there harder and like work harder. I don't know how Jimmy would take that. And it's interesting his line right there about
Each the exact same size
Yeah.
with a mirrored layout.
the exact same size with a mirrored layout. The emphasis on the same. Equal. And I think at the moment, right, he's going into this and he's like, we're equal. We're starting from the bottom. We're going to rise up equally. And I don't know whether that's necessarily going to be the case. So I worry that if Kim starts to outpace him a little bit, he's maybe going to, I don't know, turn a little bitter. Again, speculation. I'm not sure. It's just that line. And honestly, I wasn't going to mention anything, but it's what I started to think as we came into this scene here. And then that line there just exacerbated that idea in my head.
Kim?
Mesa Verde?
yeah, it's great. Soundproofing.
Damn, yeah, they didn't go with her, right?
Mesa Verde said no.
Oh, they said yes, and she's like, I've got to make this work now. Hey, come on. Yes!
Okay, I'm getting mixed signals here.
Yeah, please say words.
Jimmy, I got it.
Boy, I knew she could do it.
I mean, there's nothing in writing yet, but
This is great.
it
Okay.
kicked. Paige pitched in and she...
Yes, Paige. Come on, Paige.
I had an answer for every
Yes, you
question.
did, because you're good, mate. You got to have that confidence, because you
Not at all, but I was like, enthusiasm,
you rocked it, man.
something. Yeah, that counts.
Yeah. Yes.
Why were they even at HHM in the first place? Me. So
Gonna be a hard workload, though.
Paige gives me a thumbs up, but not the
Nice.
regular thumbs up, the double thumbs up.
Sorry, I'm suddenly thinking like they're not gonna go with that. I don't know, like sorry, they're laying it on too thick with the audience right now. This scene right here, this moment right here, is telling the audience she's got it. That's it. So, I'm so sorry. That slap was way louder than I thought it was gonna be. I'm so sorry. It's telling us right now that she's got it, which to my stupid writer's brain is like it's the writers trying to fool you, because now they're going to come around and shock you and be like, no, actually she's not, for whatever reason. And so I don't trust it suddenly because it's too thick. They're laying it on too thick. And she's so happy.
I love seeing you like this.
Me too, man. I want them both to be like this. I want them both to excel and be happy for a bit, please. Do you know what I mean? Let season 3 be that. Oh, fuck, I forgot about him. I actually forgot about him. We haven't seen Chuck in like 2 episodes, man. Oh, that immediately soured my mood.
Yeah. Ernesto, the door's
Howard.
open.
It's going to be Howard.
It's me, Chuck.
Oh, hey, Howard.
It is.
Well, I expected a round of documents an hour ago.
We'll go get him then.
It's very possible.
Yeah.
It's likely that we're losing Mesa Verde.
Maybe you should have valued your employees then, mate, eh?
They're going with Kim Wexler.
You deserve that, mate.
She left the firm.
You deserve that.
Oh, Howard.
Oh, Howard, indeed. Oh, this is going to hit Howard in the sweet spot.
Not another firm. She's going into private practice.
What?
Oh, and this is gonna hit Chuck, because now he's gonna be like, no, it was Jimmy, and Chuck's gonna be like, Jimmy. Ooh, what a spicy pot of ingredients. You know what I mean? This gets Chuck involved in such a beautiful way. He had no reason to go after her, or whatever, or even go after Jimmy. Jimmy arguably, if anything, has made the decision that Chuck would be happy with by leaving Davis and Maine, right? By leaving that sphere of the professional space, he's actually doing Chuck a favor. Chuck would want that, right? He's like, no, you shouldn't be there. You don't deserve it. You shouldn't be that kind of lawyer. And he's not anymore, right? He's not there anymore. He's back on his own, doing his own thing. If anything, Chuck would be happy with that. But now, because he's taking Kim not only from HHM, but also because Kim is then taking Mesa Verde from HHM. And that was because of Jimmy, right? Because even if it's not because of Jimmy, Chuck is going to assign it to Jimmy, right? He's not going to give Kim the respect of her own decision. He's going to assign that to Jimmy. You know he will. And because of that, that gets Chuck involved again. I guess I wasn't really talking about it, but actually the way that the board was arraying itself, Chuck didn't need to be involved in that, right? It's a really clever way to get Chuck back involved.
Why is she going out on her own?
Here it is.
She's pooling her resources with Jimmy.
Yeah. Calm down, mate. Hey.
Kim and my brother,
Yeah.
partners at law. He's Svengali. The man is Svengali.
Oh my God, chill.
I'm going to try one last Hail Mary.
Damn it.
Compliance law is not my strong suit.
Oh, Chuck's gonna come in.
I really need your help here.
Oh, he's coming in. Oh God. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely, they're taking Mesa Verde from her.
I'm going to that meeting.
And you know, the reason he's going to that meeting is because of Jimmy. This is exactly what I just said. The only reason he is getting his suit, looking at his closet right now and being like, I'm going myself to make sure, is because of Jimmy's involvement. If Kim had left and taken Mesa Verde and just strung up on her own, or even gone to Schweikert and Coakley, not an issue. It's Jimmy's involvement. His investment is Jimmy. And that's so sad. It's so sad. Just let your brother be. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh my God. Jimmy, we know as the audience, has actually made a decision for himself to be happy and to actually take himself away from, the heavy hitters, right? Which is everything Chuck wanted, right? And I know he wasn't doing it for Chuck by any means, but like inadvertently, he was actually complying with Chuck's wants and needs. And because he took something from HHM, through the surrogate of Kim. And that's the point, right? It's the disrespect of seeing Kim as a surrogate for that process in Chuck's mind. He doesn't respect Kim. He doesn't respect Jimmy. And because of that, he's back in the game. He's back involved. And that just, oh my God, it just sums him up. I mean, I was talking about 2-3 episodes ago about redeeming Chuck in the audience's mind. And bam, we're back here again, aren't we?
I'm going to the meeting, and the lights stay on.
Wow. Look at this. The motivation he's suddenly got to go in, lights on, phones on. Jimmy. That's unbelievable. This man's motivation when it comes to fighting against Jimmy is insane and so toxic and speaks volumes about him as a person. The vileness of character in him that he's been unable to process, to get over it and be happy and be his own person away from Jimmy. He's letting it fester and he's letting it come out and attack Jimmy at every single turn. When all Jimmy's doing right now is trying to find his own happiness. That's all Jimmy's doing. That's my point. Sorry, I keep repeating it because it's so painful and it's so annoying because Chuck is just repeating cycles, whereas Jimmy is actually showing growth right now. And that's what makes it annoying for me as the audience, because Jimmy's showing growth and Chuck once more is not allowing him to grow and move past everything, because Chuck can't move past it. He as a person needs to come back and self-reflect and process everything and get past it, because he's never going to be happy within himself. He's never going to be content, peaceful within himself if he can't get over this. He needs to get over this. Yeah, everyone's like, what? You can do this now? Interesting, the implications that this has maybe on the future, and people being like, well, do you really need all of that stuff then if you're okay? Do you know what I mean?
Hello, everyone. I'm sorry I was
He is, do you know what? With all of the lights on and everything, he's doing so good. And like, look, this might be strength of character from him. Really toxic strength of character, don't get me wrong. It makes me think that a lot of what's rooted in this thing with Chuck, with the electricity and everything else, it's rooted in Jimmy in some way. Again, I feel like I'm missing a piece. I do get the impression I'm missing a piece at this point in the show. I feel like there's a flashback or something that I'm missing as to his condition. Even though I feel like I've got a lot, and I think it's rooted in some way in Jimmy and his relationship with Jimmy, I'm holding out a little bit because I think there's something more and I'm not sure what it is. Even Chuck being there in this meeting is going to make them think like, oh, you're important. I feel like because Chuck's coming in right now, it's basically the show telling me that HHM are going to get them. Mesa Verde.
I'm guessing you've already had to suffer through Howard's hard sell.
What hard sell? It was enthusiasm. I gave them cookies.
Cookies were good.
Oh, they're playing it well.
Kim Wexler is indeed the right choice to handle Mesa Verde.
Wow, really clever play.
She's the obvious choice.
Damn.
She's brilliant.
Oh,
She's going places.
Oh, Howard, take it well, mate. Come on.
Two old guys like us, we're the past. Sad but true.
Howard's dying inside, bless him.
Banking law needs to be...
Yeah, that little gulp. Hey, he took it like a champ.
Banking law.
The way his
Needs
face
to
dropped
be
and the kind of,
exciting.
yep, that right there. Took it like a champ, though. Took it like a champ. Hey, and he needed to. Chuck's doing a really good play here.
Let me tell you how boring I am.
Go on.
I read FEC and ISO reports for entertainment.
Nerd. Sorry. Actually, nothing wrong with nerds. I actually don't like that I associated him with a nerd.
These days, the penalties for even the most honest of errors can be devastating. I mean,
Yeah, Paige and Appy.
when you've specialized in this kind of work for decades on end, you tend to get kind of
Stale.
Howard's on board now. He sees it.
healthy portfolio of CRA compliance. Duh. Obviously. You guys have all that covered, I'm sure.
Right. Yeah, Chuck is relying on the strength that they have over Kim. And he's arraying it so cleverly. She's young, she's exciting, she's got new ideas, all this stuff. And he's actually, even though he's talking her up, he's using that against her. His whole shtick here is that we're old, we're experienced, we know our stuff. And look, as much as I've said what I've said about Chuck, and as much as I say like, oh, he loves to be clever, he's like, he loves to be the most intelligent man in the room, he's clever. I think his weakness is that he doesn't see anyone else as clever, right? I think Jimmy actually can come up against him.
Howard has contacts at the Fed who could help sort things out.
Right, experience, years as a lawyer, he's got contacts, which Kim doesn't have right now.
Navigating that correctly could mean savings of several $100,000.
They know that, Howard?
He's giving Mesa Verde and this guy, who you know is the kind of man who loves his ego stroked. He likes to be the big man. He's a CEO, right? That's their MO. I hate that this whole dynamic and this whole scene came about in the way it did because Chuck has a thing against Jimmy. That is the root of this scene. Kim actually beat Howard in this moment. Let's not forget that, because that's huge, by the way, and I love that for Kim.
When you reach your golden years, you tend to get a little long-winded.
Yeah, and Paige sees all of what I'm seeing. Yeah, Kim's lost it. They played it very, very well.
I take your point. I do. But I have to say, I have complete confidence
Awesome.
in Miss Wexler.
Love this guy.
You should. You won't find better than Kim Wexler.
Yeah. That look from Paige says so much. Everything that I've identified in what Chuck's doing right now, in talking her up to bring her down, Paige just saw in the way that he's speaking.
The needs of Mesa Verde are too big to handle alone.
Which, I'm so sorry.
You should consider, once again, enlisting a team of professionals.
Like, Kim persuaded you that she could handle it alone. Relying on that, believing that.
Glad we did this.
Yeah, she's lost it.
Talk soon, gentlemen.
Damn. That sucks.
We're fantastic. Truly. Oh,
Oh, yeah. Get him some rest.
Ernie!
hang on.
Oh, f it. I hate. Right, okay. For all the people, right. So I know that I sometimes get trolls that are like, where's your empathy and all that stuff. Let's just make this a disclaimer. If at any point I'm having a go at anyone or like really talking against someone or like I really don't like someone, I still have base empathy for that person. Okay, can we just put that out there? And I think honestly what, you know, these shows do so well is that they do array these characters at you in a way that, you know, there is nuance to them. And while, yeah, they might be doing bad things, there's some sympathy to be garnered and be gained by looking deeper. And I think Chuck is one of those people. And I have a feeling that I will dive deeper into Chuck, more so than I already have later down the line.
You excited?
You are? Jeez.
Gentlemen, meet Fifi.
Fifi.
Well, sir, this certainly must bring back some memories for you.
Okay, so they conned their way in here, yeah? Nailed that, mate. Well done.
He says you're welcome. Nuts, I forgot his water. I can run back to the office, get him a bottle.
Oh, what a gem. I love this guy. Oh, this guy, like, traveling, man. He's going.
Thought I told you not to say anything.
He didn't.
You couldn't get a real war hero?
Yeah, like they grow on trees.
How much do you want to bet Mike is a war hero, by the way? Sorry, I feel like that line is almost referencing Mike a little bit.
Defending for what?
Public masturbation.
My man.
Total bullshit.
Okay, total or...
This machine was used in the Pacific, where the Japanese are.
Why don't you shut up and learn to take some direction?
Okay, everyone needs to chill.
You're heroic. Not that heroic. Just throw it away a little.
Man, I'm at your brother's and he's bad.
Bad? How bad?
Oh, I hate this. The only reason he's bad was to hit back at Jimmy.
Wrap him in a space blanket.
He's already under one.
Oh, Jimmy, pay attention.
That's it. No doctor.
Oh, Jimmy, look at the background. Jesus, guys, come on.
Would you mind if the guys and I took a picture with you?
Oh, whew, you had me going.
Jeez.
Lovely, isn't it, as well, to see that, like, this episode has really demonstrated Kim going at this the right way, and then it demonstrates, you know, Jimmy's way of going about things and him conning these guys. Very much these two sides of the same coin, very much been demonstrated in this episode. Yeah, okay, she's got the news, right? She's lost it. She's gonna take it so hard. She shouldn't. She did everything she could. By the way, little note as well, it's very interesting. I wonder whether gender comes into this as well. The way I feel like Jimmy has found himself here and found himself happy, content, at peace here, and I'm like, what made him so at peace? Was it just that he went through this experience and saw that it wasn't for him? Or I think that's true. I think that is true. I do think there's maybe an element of him proving that he can do that too. And this is speaking for myself as someone who was raised as a man and raised with this idea of what a man should be. And it's very egotistical. It's very like you should be better than everyone else, right? It's very much like you should prove yourself, be the strongest, be the best, be the fastest, be the cleverest, be everything. That's the mentality that you're kind of raised with. And I feel like maybe there is an element of coming through Davis and Maine and being like, I proved to myself that I can do that. And so I don't need that anymore, because I think before he was at Davis and Maine, I feel like he has something to prove to himself, to Chuck, to everyone around him. And I think having that job and being there and being like, and acknowledging to himself that he can do it, he just didn't want to, I think was so huge. I think for the reasons that I've said, but the reasons that I'm saying now, in that I think, you know, to himself, to this idea of what he was raised with, probably. Right, and again, speculation. It's just, you know, me kind of coming through this with my experience, imagining what, you know, Jimmy's probably experienced too. I imagine Davis and Maine was really vindicating for him. It really let him go. It really allowed him to let go of that, because it showed him, okay, I'm at this level. It's kind of boring. It's easy. It's fine. I can do it. I know I can do it. And we saw that he can do it. That's the important thing. And he was like, no, this isn't special. The way that I perceived it before I was there was so much higher than what it turned out to be when I was there. Do you know what I mean? I feel like that's where Jimmy's coming from. And he was like, I can do this. If I wanted to do this fight, I can do this. I don't want to do this, so I'm going to back off. I feel like that's what allowed him to find that peace within himself. And I do feel like there is an element of gender roles and being raised as a man at play here, and allowing him to be okay with going out on his own again.
I lost Mesa Verde.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Kevin got his head turned.
By Howard?
No.
Yeah.
Chuck.
Yeah, Jimmy's going to know. Oh, interesting that we've got Marco's ring in shot here, by the way. I'm wondering at the significance of that.
You still up for doing this?
Hey, good.
What, you mean get in the office?
No. It's good. It's good that she's asking the question. You need to know you're sure.
And really, you know, think about this.
No. I think she's questioning herself because of this. I understand why she's doing that. I think the worries in this moment she has are unfounded. Regardless of Mesa Verde, she did everything she could. She actually beat Howard. The only reason she didn't win is because of Chuck and because of Chuck's relationship with Jimmy. And I think, you know, she can make a go of this. I really do think she can. Jimmy, I think he can. I don't know if he can reach the heights of what Kim is capable of, honestly. That's where I'm at right now. That's what I kind of think right now about this. She needs to get over this, process this. She made this decision for a reason. She wanted this. She should keep going.
That's why we're a team. Something like this happens. You're there to help me.
Good. And yeah, this is a test.
I'm there to help you.
That's what this should be.
There'll be other Mesa Verdes.
Good, Jimmy. Yes. Good. Empower her.
So,
Yes.
you still want to do this?
Boy. Hey, his tie's banging, by the way. Can I just say? I like this. It's got a lot of potential for good. It's got a lot of potential for heartache and tragedy. Hello, Mikey boy. Go on. There's our boy. Yeah. This whole set up here, this scene, this him watching them, it feels very Gus-like.
I did everything you said, but he's not getting any better.
I hate that Jimmy came back. Considering what I know, I hate that Jimmy is the one that's coming to soothe him.
Next time you see Howard, tell him you need a raise. A big one.
For real, yeah. This is definitely not in that boy's job description.
Chuck, buddy, how you feeling?
You know, look, I wish that Chuck and Jimmy could go their separate ways and be their own people and be happy. That's the goal, right? And I feel like Jimmy was on that path. Chuck, not so much. And that's the thing. Chuck has come back in to destabilize Jimmy's path. I need Chuck at this point. That's what I want. I need Chuck to get on that path. I really do. I've not seen any growth from him, no processing from him, no maturity from him. I need to see that. I feel the way that we're going now, we're going to see more conflict from Chuck's side before we see progress. Interesting. Jimmy seeing the Mesa Verde. Yeah. Okay. And I think in this moment he knows. Yeah. Look at that. Damn. Yeah, Jimmy knows that everything that happened to Kim was Chuck. Oh, he's going through the boxes. Interesting. Whatever Jimmy's just done stemmed from Chuck's involvement. Whatever comes from this, whatever Jimmy does now, comes from Chuck. Yeah, he definitely should not be copying this stuff, yeah. From Jimmy, that's an emotional response, which I don't fully approve of. But considering what Chuck did, it's at least working in tandem with that. It's a response that is appropriate. I wouldn't necessarily say that I approve of that because, again, Jimmy is lowering himself to come up against that rather than taking the high ground. But it's like, if he took the high ground, would that even make him the winner? Would that bring Jimmy and Kim out on top? I don't know if it would. So it's like, I have a lot of sympathy, a lot of empathy for where Jimmy's coming from and what he's doing right now. Based on what Chuck has done. Oh, it's such a mess. Is he forging stuff? Is he giving him false information to make Chuck mess up later down the line? Right. That would be very dirty, but honestly very appropriate. This is so dirty and I love it. I do. I think Jimmy, honestly, is in the, if not in the right, is justified. And again, once again, we're seeing Chuck's behavior resulting in Jimmy breaking the law, which is, sorry, what we've been seeing this whole series. Chuck's behavior and the way that he's been making his decisions, influencing Jimmy to be how he is as we know him right now. More and more, I'm coming down on the side of whatever Jimmy's done. As much as he's in charge of his own decisions, Chuck is largely responsible because of his like, you can't be impacting a person's life this heavily and expect them to respond in a way that is purely morally good. You are actively bringing about a person acting morally bad or morally grey because of your own actions. That is Chuck right now. So it's like, as much as you can say like Jimmy could take the high ground and be a good person, like at the end of that, would Jimmy really win though? Do you know what I mean? Like, because Chuck isn't playing fair. He's arraying himself as a person who is acting because he wants to bring Jimmy down, which I think is a very overt reference to where Chuck has actually brought Jimmy in life at this point. And as much as anyone wants to argue that Jimmy is his own man and he's got to be responsible for his own actions, it's like, I can meet you to a point, but also if you're being manipulated, emotionally manipulated to the point that Chuck has manipulated Jimmy, even to the point that we've seen in this episode, you can't be fully responsible for that. You really, really can't. I find that so hard to deny, honestly, at this point in the show.
Just had to do it, huh? Couldn't stand to let Kim have Mesa Verde.
I didn't swipe anything.
No, you did.
You and Howard never even heard about Mesa Verde till Kim brought it.
Yeah. We gotta say, buddy.
I need a shower.
Oh, okay. Deflecting.
So if you're looking for a fight, Jimmy, I just don't have it in me.
Then why do you keep picking fights, Chuck?
Thanks for staying with me.
You didn't deserve it.
I know we have our issues.
Oh, wow, that is putting it lightly.
If things were reversed, I hope you know that I would do the same for you.
Oh, f*** you. No. You don't get to say that. No, you wouldn't. You know what? Chuck would do the same for him because in that moment, in that situation, Jimmy would be below him. That's how Chuck would see it. That's what he needs, right? He needs power over people, whether it's physical, whether it's mental, whether it's whatever. And quite often he's given it. A lot of where he comes from is because he's given power by default. He needs that to feel like he's valued. Going back to Rebecca, I think what he needs to feel valued in a situation, we saw that in the back and forth in the conversation we had in Rebecca, that he's not content unless he is the one that is given the most attention, the most accolade, the most supreme level of, you are on this plinth and that is where you are, that is your place. Anything other than that, he's not happy. He's not satisfied. I'm not even doubting that he would do what Jimmy is doing. What I'm doubting is his motivations. He's so toxic. I hate it. I hate it. Everything he says, everything that comes out of his mouth is just so disingenuous. And I don't even think he knows it. That's the problem.
I hope you know that I would do the same for you.
The cruel and the horrible thing about that is that I think Chuck believes what he's saying there. I don't think he's got the self-reflection and the self-awareness in himself to know that he's lying there. The cruel thing there, I think, is that Jimmy is going to believe that. Chuck's not mature enough to know what he's doing. Jimmy is too suckered and too traumatized by Chuck to have a defense against this. And it's so horrible, so painful. And I don't forgive Chuck for it, but I don't blame him either because he doesn't know and he needs to know. And that's the beauty of this scene.
Can I do the gel now? You promise?
Yeah, give her a go. Come on.
Okay, get up here.
Oh, I love these scenes so much.
Why don't you have to wear them?
Because Pop-Pop's a grown-up. And grown-ups get to be stupid.
Isn't that true?
Okay, now get your hand on it.
Oh, he's so great. I love him.
But you, young lady, were a big help.
Oh, he's so pure. What a beautiful human. Like, what a beautiful example of a human that has to do bad things to, like, truly look after the people he loves.
I'll listen, Walter.
Ooh, interesting. Popping some tires, maybe. Interesting how he's almost integrating Kaylee into this new life. Bringing this past, right? Because with Mike, we have this thing of before and after. To put it simply, so far in Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad, these two images of himself, keeping his life apart from the violence and the extra mile, right, that we've seen so far in Better Call Saul. And in Breaking Bad, we obviously see him doing, being the hitman. And right now, I feel like we have him melding those two lives together a little bit because he's brought Kaylee into this. This clearly now, as we see here, is something he's been scoping out Hector. He's slowly now got Kaylee coming in, helping him with this. It's like a melding of this life, this Better Call Saul life that we've seen and him fighting against it, and this Breaking Bad life coming together here.
Walter, and I still...
Walter, eh?
What can I do for you?
Interesting. Talked a lot this episode. I think I've said everything I want to say. So I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for watching. That was Fifi, episode 8 of season 2. We are close approaching the finale. I will be doing a premiere of season 2 finale. So yeah, if you want to catch that, subscribe and tick the bell button down there as well. And you can interact with me, talk to me as we watch the final episode of this season. It's going to be an interesting one, I am sure. So make sure you do that. If you like this video, like it, spread it around YouTube. Let's get more people watching my content because I'm an egotist, I guess. Thank you, as always, to my beautiful patrons. Genuinely, thank you for your support and for the rest of you as well. Thank you so much. YouTube has specifically recommended this for you, mate, so click on that. Keep the hype train going. Keep the video watching going. And other than that, thank you again, and I will see you soon.